the express line. I gotta get off. Electric slide into the double doors of life. Things are changing and it ain't the way I like. On the replay, wish I could get a replay. Don't mean to hold ya, but I wanna do over. Gas up the ship, shoot me a text and let me know when it is time. I wanna get off, I wanna get off. 1 star, would not recommend that we go far from here. I wanna get off, I wanna get off. The world. A music podcast for the culture. Wow, wow, thoughts.
What's going on,
man,
everybody?
that intro is epic, bro. I apologize. I like that. That was dope.
Thank you, sir. Everybody, welcome to Wild Wild Thoughts. We got Mars Blackman out there in Brooklyn. We got my man Daryl joining us today. T-Rex is hopping on right now. Yo, it's a whole lot to talk about. This is Wild Wild Thoughts, where we talk about culture, hip-hop, music, politics, and everything in between.
Let's get it.
Well, let's get started with something easy, right? Let's start with the Olympics. What have y'all thought about the Olympics so far? I think America has been doing a pretty good job. Them gymnastics girls been killing it. And if y'all haven't had a chance to watch, Kevin Hart show with Kenan Thompson when they're doing the commentary on the Olympics is pretty hilarious. Let me get your thoughts, Daryl. What you been thinking if you got a chance to, rock with any Olympics at all?
So I got like little bits and pieces of it, but the Olympics is like the basketball team is doing their thing, right? I haven't been able to see everything else, but the little clips I've been able to like embrace, like it's decent. You know what I mean? Like LeBron is like a relic. We never gonna have another LeBron as long as we live. It's like we never have another Jordan, another Magic. You know what I'm saying? Like they're one of one. But it's like a big debate about who they are, what they can do. Just put them in their own level. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem with society. They want to compare them to people. They're not the same. They're all different individuals. I'm a basketball player. I really was a big time hooper. Like I could shoot from the left and the right hand from the three. I'm really one of those guys. I could dunk. I could do all that shit, right? But I know basketball. So when it comes to a person like LeBron is the only person that's close to the Magic Johnson in our era. Period. Nobody else can play the 1 through the 5 like LeBron. Period. Besides Magic. But no one wants to give him his props because of that.
Well, I think he's, I tell people love him or hate him. What he's been doing in the Olympics and these last 2 seasons has been quite amazing, even, especially for his age. But I was telling people, I said, there's not a damn the fact that he's, 40, doing what he's doing, getting 25, 5, like 25, 5, and 5 or something around there. But like you in the Olympics with the best of the best of the best, and they all on the team saying, you that dude still. And one thing
so it means something.
Yeah, and one thing I've liked watching though is seeing Anthony Davis back at the center position playing some more of the floor. I feel like he's been doing he's really been doing his thing, showing people why he should have been defensive player of the year, wiping them boys clean. But I'm gonna tell y'all what I think people sleeping on in the Olympics. If y'all ain't been watching table tennis and ping pong.
Oh my God, dude.
They be getting down. No, for real. No, they be getting down.
They got tactics, bro. They got tactics.
The ball. How do y'all even it be going?
They be like,
fast? Yeah.
And they get it in. Yeah.
Hey man, that table tennis and ping pong was going up in the Olympic. The girls, the track and field, Sha'Carri Richardson, man,
wow. The goat.
On that last relay, she ate them up. I thought that was dope. It's dope seeing what the athletes are doing. So far, America's winning in the medal count. We got I think 30 medals, and the closest behind us.
But we always show up though.
Yeah, it's 28. But we ain't got France got more goals than us. But I'm sure that's gonna change a little bit. Everybody thought Sudan was gonna beat the Dream Team today because the last game was so close. But nah, they got them today. They got them by almost 20 points. But I think it's an overall good showing. I think it's gonna be, and you know what else? Archery, fun to watch. Cause sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night and you put it on, and it be the most they put the random stuff on in the middle of the night. But I'm like, yo, the archery is dope. Table tennis, the equestrian when they be on them horses, making them horses crip walk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like all that. That's been really good to watch. I think they added breakdancing this year. I haven't had a chance to see it, but they got 3-on-3. Yeah, they got 3-on-3 basketball, and they have Olympic breakdancing, which I think that's huge for the culture of hip hop. Like, hip hop has invaded the Olympics. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was just like, how do you score when you're doing the breakdancing? You know, oh, Ron said judo is crazy. Yeah, judo is crazy. Judo, they be getting down on Olympic judo, and what's that where they be like? It's like ice skating, but they be having like that little black thing. What is that?
What's it called? Fencing? No, not fencing.
No.
Curling.
It's on the tip of my tongue,
Curling.
bro.
I knew Rob was
Curling,
gonna do it.
yeah.
Curling.
Curling,
I
yeah.
knew Rob was
Put
gonna
a
do that.
little scrubber in the front of the little.
I knew
That
Rob
shit's
was
crazy. I don't
gonna
understand the concept of it, but I like
still
it
don't get
because
it.
they be adamant. They be like intense.
Yeah, curling. I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't even
yeah.
know what
That's curling. Yeah, that's curling. Yeah,
They
for
be
sure.
moving fast as hell too. So I'm
Right.
just like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
I don't even know the
so-
score system when it comes to that, but it's dope. They intense. They locked in. I like it.
Yeah,
You know?
that's what I'm saying. It's like, so it's a lot to watch, different, you know, and I think it helps you just appreciate how athletic people can be in so many different things, so many different areas, doing so many different things. Because even with track and field, like you got track and field, you got the 100, the 110, you got what they call it, the walking when they had a fast walk, the walk race.
Right.
They got the
That right there is
relay.
crazy. Yeah, that's
Oh,
crazy.
the walk race is crazy because they be wanting to run so bad. One lady, I think she was from, I want to say Finland or something. She thought she was coming in third place. She started pulling her flag out, celebrating. And the other chick knocked her in the fourth.
Right.
Yeah, knocked it. You know what was funny, Ron? Badminton. When I was a kid, because of the Olympics, my parents got us a badminton set, and we really used to be in the backyard with our full badminton set because of the
So I'll
Olympics.
tell you this, right? You my age, right? So badminton came from Zodi's.
You sure did get it from Zodi.
Badminton came from Zodi's. If you my age, I'm 47. You know what I'm saying? We class 95, you know what I'm saying? But badminton came from Zodi's. Like even the 10 speeds came in a box from Zodi's.
You
had
right.
to put it together
You
yourself.
Right.
There was no place you can go like bring your box and they build your bike. You did it yourself.
No.
Now the chain was loose and all that. You got it right or you didn't get it right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep, that's funny.
it's dope though. Like history, you know?
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, I don't know badminton. Everybody in the hood had badminton after the Olympics. Like it was popping. Badminton was popping in the early 90s. Yeah, that's right, Ron.
Right.
Crenshaw. That's real LA stuff. Sorry, Rob. I'm sorry,
For
Rob.
sure,
you missed that era. You missed that era, LA. You missed the Zodi's era.
They had let's see, Zodi's is excuse me, my bad. Zodi's is what, Kmart and then Walmart?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, like
people don't even understand it though. Zodi's was a blessing. Zodi's was Christmas time. Zodi's was Christmas, especially the one by the Fox Hills Mall.
Yeah, Zodi's was Christmas time and school shopping, Jack.
Man, the one on Slauson in Vermont, and then you had the one going towards the Fox Hill Mall. Those are the only two Zodi's I knew of.
Yep. No, it was one on Century Crenshaw too.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was one on Century Crenshaw too.
I did not know that.
I think that's the Food for Less now was the Zodi's.
By the Aldi's?
No, not the Audi. The Food for Less on Century and Crenshaw. Like,
no, I'm saying by the Aldi's.
Oh yeah,
Aldi's in the same parking lot. Yeah, for sure.
That was Zodi's back in the day. Yeah, that was Zodi's.
Wow, I didn't even know that, bro.
Yeah, just a little quick take back. Hey, Red said fencing go hard too. Hey,
they be jabbing.
Hey, I'm telling you, you'll find yourself watching stuff that you probably never thought you would watch.
Never would see.
You know what I'm
like, what the hell?
Yeah,
right.
You get all into it, like you rooting for these people. You know these people names now.
And you end up watching the whole shit, just sitting there.
Right.
And that's the good, dope, interesting thing about the Olympics, right? Like it's just a clash of cultures and all the different things you get to learn. You know what I'm saying? So. All right. Well, we talked about the Olympics. We already know that's popping. I think it's going on for another week. So we got a whole bunch going on in politics. Go ahead, Mark.
Have you noticed that the number of black athletes now?
Yeah. Well, first of all, because you got a lot of black athletes like Rui Hachimura playing for Japan.
Right.
A lot of the NBA cast playing for Sudan. And Sudan, this is their first, I think this is like their first Olympic. And they said they don't even have indoor courts in the Sudan still right now.
Wow.
They said they don't even have indoor court. So cats like Wenyan Gabriel, who played for the Lakers, he playing all world for the Olympic team. Like he looking like an all-star, which I think is dope. You know what I'm saying? That they get to put on, their team get to showcase, you know what I mean? So I think, you know, it's dope to see that, man. So shout out to all the black athletes, you know what I mean? Shout out to everybody who's doing a thing, everybody who made it, the WNBA girls, you know, who's in the Olympics right now, the NBA cats who's in the Olympics right now, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to all of them. Yeah, man. So let's get into this crazy. It's only been a week, and it feels like it's been 2 months. A week of Kamala Harris being on the top of the ticket for the presidency.
Right.
Like this has been the longest 10 years in 1 week.
It has, right? Can I say something?
Yeah, please. Let me hear it.
I feel like it's a little cheesy, right? They soliciting rappers and their fan base to get their votes. It's come up a little thirsty to me. Both parties are doing it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like just display who you are as a person, what you have for the community, what you have for the world, and then move with that.
But it's marketing.
It's like it's definitely marketing, but it's cheesy at the end of the day, if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's not cool because it's like you capitalizing off of what's relevant instead of just out there grinding and doing what's necessary. It hasn't been a real campaign since the Reagan campaign when they really did what they had to do. You know what I'm saying? Even though they didn't care about us as black people, they did what they had to do. They went through the steps, the hurdles, the hoops, and all that shit, and they did what was necessary. And then they screwed over us. You know what I'm saying? These people were presented a false image, like we're gonna do for you, we're gonna do for that person, this minority group. But at the end of the day, when they're in office, we don't hear nothing.
Yep,
that's the problem.
That's crazy.
I'm not saying you owe me anything, but just keep to your word.
You do those. No,
I'm about to say you do.
You do owe your constituents, but I will say this.
Right. Okay.
I will say this on the no. Speak your mind. That's what we're here for. I will say this on the point of you saying like, yo, I feel like they trying to get rappers and try to get people involved. What I want my people to understand is there's a demographic of 18 to 34 that nobody is talking to.
They're not.
Nobody's talking to the 18 to 34 demographic, and you know the 18 to 34 demographic can be the biggest voting block if somebody gets it. So I think what Kamala is doing, you know, with getting Meg Thee Stallion, getting Quavo in Atlanta, I think is actually smart because first of all, we older, so we see things a little different, right? But if you're trying to get that 18 to 34 demographic, you got to meet people where they are. And if you look at it from a strictly marketing standpoint, you look at it from a campaign standpoint, you like, well, if we can get Meg Thee Stallion and her fans, because she probably got like 40 million followers on Instagram.
Okay, that's right.
If we can get Migos and they followers, and they probably got 2 to 8, 10 million on Instagram. If we could turn them into voters, not only will we turn them into voters early, they will engage us and they will help us actually progress. Because these young kids, they're not playing games. What up, Q?
What up?
But I can say this though, right? What's up, bro? Welcome to the. I can say this though. The demographic is 18 and above because it's the trap rappers. That's what's moving the world right now. They got to focus on them. Screw Megan Thee Stallion, all those other people. They already established. They older. They're not even older. They're not of our age, but the trap rappers is what they need to get on.
No, but what I'm saying is Meg Thee Stallion will get you young girls 18 to 34. Like
that's on a short mask though.
No, that's not. 18 to 34 young women is not a short mask. That's
well, you know what? My bad. You're right. Yeah. I slapped myself. My bad.
So we talking millions.
Yeah, you're right.
We talking millions of votes.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And again, like I said, they said a lot of people didn't engage in the last election, 18 to 34, because they thought Joe was too old. They felt like he was out of touch. He wasn't progressive enough. They felt like Trump was too old, not on a racist side and all the stuff that they feel about Trump. So they sat it out. The 18 to 34 demographic sat out the last election, pretty much basically. And they were sitting this one out until Kamala became the presumptive nominee. They said so many 18 to 34-year-olds signed up to vote before the rallies even, but soon as she became the nominee, they signed up to vote, and I think they said she got like 70,000 new volunteers like
Oh
within
wow.
3 days. So I think it makes a difference. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so they got to get them. They try to get them kids early because first of all, we losing a whole generation above us. That older black generation that been their most faithful, loyal voting bloc. You're gonna be losing a lot of them soon. So you're gonna have
Right.
to
Right.
engage some new voices, like all the people who rocked with uh what's Maxine Waters and all them. They gonna be on their way out soon. Now you got to contend with the AOCs, the Jasmine Crockett's, that's gonna be the new voice of the Democrats. And if Jasmine Crockett and people like that are going to be the voice you're going to have to get people that will follow her, and she's from the TikTok generation, she's from the Meg Thee Stallion generation, she's from the Migos generation, and so many people have been leaving them out, and so many people have been on some get off my lawn shit that they missing out on that whole demographic. You think the 18 to 34 black demographic is going to be voting for Trump like in large mass? They wasn't gonna vote for Biden either. So that's like literally thousands of votes. Let me read this comment from Theo. He said, my boy in Arkansas said the seniors that are turning 18 before November, they're registering them to vote while getting their classes. This is Fort Smith, Arkansas. I'm trying to remember if this was happening for my sister in 96. I don't think so.
Probably not. Yeah,
I
probably
don't
not.
remember that
Yeah.
happening. But I know
Right.
Quincy, I know you had something to say about the people who had a problem with Meg Thee Stallion being at the rally. Give us your thoughts.
Well, she has 70 million social
Oh,
media
70
followers.
million.
Oh wow, I
Yeah,
didn't know that. That's dope.
yeah. She has. If you
That's
combine all
heavy.
her social media, she definitely has. I mean, my daughter. I mean, I just bought my daughter tickets to American Thee Stallion concert in June. So, and my
Congratulations,
daughter's
brother.
20, and my daughter's 22. So that she has a whole different demographic that she could reach and bring their attention to what's going on. Plus, Gen Z, they're a little different. They like to go against the norms. They like to go against the norms. So you're not about to tell them like, no black woman is not supposed to be president because they are already on some rebellious stuff anyway.
Right.
So I didn't have an issue with it, man. It's Meg Thee Stallion. I can't tell you not one song, but do I think there's a purpose to have her there? Yes. I mean, and Quavo is the generation right before her. So, I think that there's a purpose to have all these people. We can't. I mean, we we would like for our kids to respond to let me see, Roland Martin or somebody like that. They don't want to hear Roland. They want to hear somebody from their generation that sound like them, uh, come out and speak out about who they rallying behind, and then that'll start them to Google and tell you the truth. Based on what I've seen on TikTok, it's been Gen Z defending Kamala Worker more than anybody. Like,
Right.
like, like, like they have went to Google. They fact checking. Like, wait a minute, y'all told me that she was throwing black dudes in jail, and this is not what the facts are saying. And those TikTok videos, it's not people from our generation. It's the younger generation that's out there fact checking Kamala Record like crazy. So when you deal with a big Ting party, everybody got to have a role in their purpose, and it seemed very 19. I mean, very 2008 right now. So
Right.
Well, you know what, to piggyback off what you're saying too as well, because I know everybody's talking about, oh, she got Quavo there, feel like she just trying to pander for the young votes. I'm like, what people don't know is since Takeoff got killed, Quavo has been on Capitol Hill a bunch of times talking about how to stop gun violence. So since that tragedy happened, he's been
yeah,
engaged and he's been on the hill and he's had a relationship with her. So it's
uh,
not like
uh,
she just started running, let me try to go get a couple rappers. Like literally, she's been engaging with him and she's been rocking with him, trying to work on sensible gun laws.
also for people who say she's pandered, I don't think they really realize like like to be pandering. Like Hillary Clinton was pandering. When you from Oakland, your mom was a civil rights activist. You went to Howard University. You're an AKA. You're not. And one of her favorite rappers growing up in Oakland was Too Short.
Ah. I know that, bro.
Yeah.
School me.
Yeah. She said it during the interview. And when you think about it, she was in college when Too Short was hot in Oakland. That was 1988, 87. So
Right. Yeah,
that's
he was
like her
hot.
that's like her college years. So
Mhm.
I mean, I know everybody making a big deal whether she Indian or black, but the chick I mean, I don't know too many non-black people who grew up in Oakland. Like I said, went to Howard, AKA, mom was a civil rights activist. Need to pander with hip hop artists. She very aware who these people are. You
Right.
know,
What?
it,
Yeah, and you know what? Because I know people was talking about, and it's funny too, because of course, so many people, like you said, they go buy only clips. I seen so many people on Instagram like, she got Meg the Stallion there, but why she ain't talking about, what's her policies? I said, well, if you would have kept
Right.
watching, she literally
yeah,
did a
yes.
25-minute speech going
She
into
did.
all of her specific policies. Like, she just did that to bring the eyes, and then when she got them, she did a great speech. And I said, and I think she would have addressed every issue that you felt like need to be addressed. She addressed the economy and how, yes, even though we have a good economy, our low income families need more help. She addressed the border, which has been one of the biggest things people been hitting her on. And she was like, we had a border law ready to go that was written by a conservative senator,
Mm.
and Trump told them not to vote for it because he wanted to run on quote
Wow.
fixing the border.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. The border
Yeah,
Wow, I know that. That's dope.
Wow.
the border agents actually supported that bill. The border agents actually supported that bill. Yeah, a couple of people were saying, well, she didn't mention this. She didn't. I said, did you look at the speech? But the eye opening thing for me was I was listening to the Breakfast Club because Charlemagne and her kind of like fell out
Hmm.
not too long ago, and he said this morning he said y'all seeing the Kamala that I see off camera, and I thought that was very
I'm,
telling that he said like he he said that this who I've been waiting for y'all to see because this is who we talk to. But then when she get on camera, she come off a different way. But now y'all seeing the Kamala that we used to seeing and talk to.
Wow.
well, I'm glad you brought that up too, because I was having a conversation with another friend of mine, and I was telling him, I said, there seems to be not only a different energy around her this go round while she's running, but she seems to have a different type of charisma, right? She seems to have a different type of pull.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
And I said, I feel like in 2019, they was trying to run the Obama playbook with her. Like, they gave her the Obama playbook and be like, we're gonna try to make you the female Obama. And she was very measured in the way she says stuff. She was very measured in her interviews. And I think all of that lent to us feeling like she was disingenuous because she couldn't connect to us because it didn't feel real. Like what we saw in 2019, to me, it didn't feel real at all. It felt fake. It felt disingenuous, and I feel like they gave her the Obama playbook and were like, "Well, this is what Obama did, so you got to do it." I feel like this time, either she got permission or she gave herself permission to be like, "Yo, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna be myself." And I feel
Well,
like that's what we're seeing, and I feel like that's why it's connecting because she's an awkward nerdy girl. Be
yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have to try to be cool and dignified all the time. Like, no, let your
Right.
shit fly, talk your
But
shit. And I feel like because she's doing it this time, I think it's connecting on a different level because, like Quincy said, I think she is kind of letting the real her come out. So it's actually going to connect this
what
go
what
around.
the real hurt was in those Senate hearings. If you go and look at those Senate hearings when she made Kavanaugh cry and all that's the real hurt.
That's heavy.
Um,
Yeah, for sure.
um, but I think like Dane said, you got to like during that time, Michelle Obama was super popular. So everybody like, take the high road. She did because now in 2020, 2019, she would have never said, you know what, if you got something to say, come say it in my face.
Right.
But that's what we want to hear. We've been waiting for somebody, the Democrat, like fucking fight back. damn, I'm not gonna just talk about you like that. Y'all don't say nothing. Like,
Right.
do something,
Mm-hmm.
fight back. It's like you seeing the balance and like, okay, she because I love how confusing they are. In one aspect, they want to paint her as like she was tough on crime, throwing niggas in jail. But
Right.
then another rally, she was soft on crime, and she wasn't about like I was a police officer when she was a DA in AG.
Mm.
I remember the narrative about her. The narrative was she was soft on crime. She was just letting niggas out of jail. She wasn't putting people in jail because she had started that back on track program for people who was getting out of jail because the jails was getting full, and so she implemented a program that for guys who was getting out of prison to get back on track, and it pretty much like help them get back on their feet, find jobs, etc. And they got mad at her for programs and things like that because she wasn't throwing the book at people. Then all
Mm.
of a sudden, that's why I was surprised because all of a sudden when she became VP or running for president, like, oh yeah, she was throwing all type of niggas in jail. I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah. They
that
just
was
dumped it.
not
They
the
dumped that on
narrative
her.
back then.
Yeah, they dumped it on her.
Yeah, and people ran with it, and that was not the narrative back then. Of course, she was probably one of the most liberal DAs and AGs we had in California history. But if you look at Trump rally today, he actually talks about that. He calling her soft on crime and things like that. So it's interesting to say. I'm like, she can't be both. She she can't be like soft on crime and also was throwing it because trust me, if she was throwing niggas in jail, y'all would not have called her soft on crime.
Can I say something? But the social media and the media makes her like portrays her to be the villain. Like she's attacking black people. She's putting black people in jail. What she said today, she said, I've dealt with all type of perpetrators. She didn't put no race or creed or size or shape on anybody. She was just like people that put themselves in a position for me to do my job. I did my job. You can't complain about that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people complain
Well, that's
about
the
that.
biggest
Oh, they
thing,
tripping on
Daryl.
me, but
Yeah, she's a prosecutor. Like that's like
right.
If you're a prosecutor, you're probably gonna have to put some people in jail.
Right. She go book you. Put something in line to get booked. She go book you.
Yeah,
why would you think anything other, right?
That's the other thing. Yeah, I'm like let's not act like nobody does crimes, right? Let's not act like everybody who she booked in jail was innocent. And I'm not saying that
right.
She probably didn't put somebody innocent in jail because we talking about a system that's bigger than her. She didn't build the system. The system is super flawed.
Hey,
the
Jay,
system is super flawed. Yeah, go ahead, Q.
Look. As a police officer, I would like to think that everybody I put in jail, I hope for God, everybody I put in jail was guilty, like they did. Now, once I make the initial arrest and it goes to the detectives, I don't know what happened. All I know, the next thing that probably happened is I might get subpoenaed to court. Now, the one time where I felt we put an innocent person in jail, I spoke up about it. I raised hell and I spoke up about it.
That's dope.
And it's one of the reasons why I ain't no cop no more. They fire my ass. But I spoke up about it. but it bothered me. I spoke up about it. When I felt it shit wasn't adding up, I spoke up about it. And the detective told me, don't worry about it. We'll clear it up. And then when I saw the young lady's mom months later, they told me they did a plea deal, and I was pissed because I was 100% believe that she was innocent, and I would have definitely had testified to that in court. But they couldn't afford an attorney. Oh, go ahead.
How did you feel being an officer of the law, right? Did you ever get up with an arrogance or like an entitlement aspect when you went to work? Like, how did you decipher to do right or do wrong? Like, do you ever have your moments where you feel that you didn't do what was necessary? Or like, I'm curious about that. I'm on the outside looking in. How did you maneuver to get up in the morning with that power in your pocket? You know,
So have you ever seen the movie The Mask with
I have.
Jim Carrey?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. And you remember when Jim Carrey had the mask on? His
Uh huh.
personality was different. Then the bad guy put on the
I get
mask.
it. I get it. I
So,
got you. I got you. It's a
so,
job. It's
so,
a job.
so, so when you put on that uniform and badge, whoever you
Mhm.
are is going to be amplified, right?
That's
So,
dope. I appreciate it.
so if you're a caring, empathetic person, you're going to be
Right.
very attentive and careful with that amount of power that you have.
Okay.
If you're a racist, bigot, hateful, shady bastard, that's going to
That's
be
what I wanted to hear.
amplified. So
Right.
whoever you are, that uniform and badge is going to amplify that. I'm a very empathetic person. I'm a very caring
Okay.
person. So it was almost like I was somewhat paranoid to make the wrong decision because I knew that I had power to either take your life or take your freedom. And
That's heavy.
I took that very seriously because I knew not too many people in this world have that type of power. So that's why I was so keen on making the right decision. Make sure I put the right person in jail. Giving somebody an extra second or two because per policy, I could have shot a ton of people per policy. But just
So
knowing
with
that,
not to cut you off, right? Not to cut, I
yeah, go ahead.
apologize, right? Not to cut
Go ahead.
with no one having that backing. How do you wake up in the morning? Do you wake up in the morning with that arrogance, like I can do what I want to do, or is it
No.
just the fact like I'm going to do what's necessary for my job? Because it can go left or right a lot of the time. Because some people are not you. A lot of people are not you if you think
Uh,
about it. You know what I'm
no.
saying? A lot of
I
people are
woke
not raised like you are. We all different. You know what I mean?
so I woke up every morning. Well, I worked at night, so I work at night, and my goal was I go home to my kids at the end of my shift,
Mm,
and whoever I deal with, they get to see their family again.
mm.
That was my goal.
That's dope.
And anytime I went to a call and somebody is being difficult, that's exactly what I used to say. I say, look, here's my deal. My goal is to go see my kids at the end of my shift. My goal is to also make sure you see your family. So how can you
Right.
help me accomplish this goal? All right, man.
That's heavy, man. Bro.
I just pack my stuff up and leave. Cool. Just leave. Let her have the crib for the weekend. Y'all talk about it. But in the end, I want to make sure you get to see your kids, and I want to see mine. So with all this going on, how can we come to this conclusion? Or sometimes I'll be like, look, I have to take you to jail because you have a warrant. The judge want to see you. Let the judge know. But do know I do have to do my job. It's not what I want to do, kind of what I have
Mm-hmm.
to do. So what's the most peaceful way we can do this? All right. It'd be some dudes they ask us something like, hey, can I have a one last beer? Yeah, you can have one last beer. You pop one open, I
Oh,
let him
that's
drink his
fucking
beer,
dope, dude.
and then
Oh my god.
Need
I
more cops
handcuff him
like
and
you,
take him to
man.
jail. So
So can I say something, please?
go ahead.
I'm not to cut you off. I apologize. Right? That is like the upper echelon when it comes to like community, like development and like interaction. Because my interaction with cops when it came, I was in the streets. I was a young cat. You know what I'm saying? I had my past. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that. You got cats that would trick you. You know what I'm saying? Beat you up, do things that wasn't warranted for what the situation was because they had that power. That's why I asked you, how do you like get up in the morning with that power? Because power is a drug. No matter what nobody says in the world, power is a heavy drug. You know what I'm saying? And for you to actually convey that message in like a humble way shows who you are as a person. Because most people with that power, I was this, I was that, I laid the law, I did what I had to do. I don't care what they had going on. But you are different. You are a different like mechanism. Like they say in
So
Spanish, you're a different máquina. You're a different machine.
I'm going to tell you something that's probably going to blow y'all away. Most cops are cool people. They want to go do their shift. So this is what happened. Let's say you have a department with 1,000 people, right? 1,000 officers.
Okay.
It's about 15 shady ass people, and they promote. And
Right.
Dame got a little inside of this. He didn't see the.
Yeah.
They promote, and then what they do, they promote their friends. And see, that's who shaped the department, right? So now you got this 15 group of shady ass people who are now your lieutenants, your commanders, and
Right.
your deputy chief. Now, out of that
Power.
1,000 officers, 200 is going to do what they feel is necessary to appease them so they can get detective jobs, so they can promote. Now, you go 200 out of 1,000, that's not that bad. But 200 shady ass cops is a lot when people's lives and freedom is on the line,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
they move the crowd. Hell yeah, they move the crowd. Fuck
Hold
yeah.
on, hold on,
My life, they move the crowd.
hold on. Damn, let V in.
Oh, okay.
So so
Okay, go
so
ahead, Q.
so that's basically what ended up happening. So cops like me really don't work around cops like that because there's always a conflict. There. Trust
Oh,
me.
so look,
Trust me.
let's
It be
how did you
square ups and
combat that
everything.
though?
Well,
How did you combat that? You know, like square ups like in the street type shit, but how did you actually combat that? Like coming in knowing these guys are against you when you got a
so
decent point of view or a decent mindset. How did you combat that though?
so I have friends and we just look out for one another. So let's
Okay.
say let's say although me and Dame in different divisions, I know what Dame is going through, right? With
Okay.
his shift. Don't nobody really like to back him up because Dame don't really be doing shady stuff. So what I'm gonna
Right,
always
right, right.
do, I'm gonna listen for Dame out on the radio. So when Dame acts a backup, I
Uh-huh.
might have to come from another area, but I know I have to get there because nobody else is gonna back him up. That actually really happened to
Okay.
me. Nobody was backing me up. I'm in a different division, and my boy came. He had to jump on the freeway to back me up because he knew. But that's but then my other friends came, and so what? That's basically what happened. You talk with your boys. You know who your friends are. I mean, even sometimes we text message like, "Hey, I'm hitting you up. I need you to come assist me." And so because sometimes you really don't want to get on the radio because you don't want certain people to come to your calls. It was certain there were certain officers, dudes just be like, "Don't you come and assist me.
Mhm.
You always get into some shit. You done shot 5 people. Stay, don't come to my
Damn.
calls. Don't back me." So there's a lot of that. So what end up happening is when the next deployment come out and I go talk to Dan. I was like, "So where you working at next year?" "Oh, we're gonna work North Division." "Okay, I'm gonna work North Division with you." "Okay, did you accept this?" "Okay, cool. We all just gonna work the same shift." The flip side is all the shady motherfuckers do the same thing too.
Damn.
So Quincy,
So
can I ask you a question?
yeah.
On the outside looking in, right? I'm a civilian, right? You know, I have my past, whatever. Do you consider yourself a gang member? Because the things that you're speaking on are camaraderie for an organization. You get what I'm saying? Like the same thing that people do in these streets, you guys do the same thing with an oath. And it's no difference. It's just the oath are different. They have different weights. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about that? Like in society, like how people look at you. Like me personally, like it's the same function, same interaction as a gang member. If you think about
Well, I've actually told them that, and they didn't like it.
Yeah.
it. I
Because
hear
I
you, you
grew
know what I mean?
because I grew up around both. I grew up
Right.
around blood. You know, my grandmother lived over there, Haciendas, down the street from Nickerson Gardens, the Bloods.
Okay, for
But
sure.
a lot of my
Yep.
family are Crips from Gray Street to Road 60. So I I I, I I've been around it. So when I get into the police department, I said, "Oh, y'all call them snitches. They call them whistleblowers.
Yeah, exactly. Same shit. Same
They get
shit.
rid of the
Different playing
snitches.
field, different level ground. Right.
They
Yeah.
get rid of the
Yeah.
snitches. Y'all get rid of the whistleblowers. They
That's crazy.
retaliate. Y'all retaliate.
And
So
it,
so
That's
so so
crazy.
so so they didn't like when I made that comparison. So I said, "Stop acting like that then." Like I mean, if you're
right.
gonna act like when I went in, when I filed my racial complaint, I was told straight up, "You just committed career suicide."
Yeah, you
Before the
bullshit. You
investigation
don't know what
started.
I'm talking about. You being complacent, you being that cat, you crying wolf. That's bullshit
Yeah.
that they say that. But the opposite race do
What?
it. You know, we got your back. We on your
Yeah.
team. We
Yeah.
gonna make sure we sort through it.
The thing in my department, if you brought up race, you become the problem. So what they did was So what
That's
they
bullshit.
so what they do is they come after you to assassinate your character to discredit what you're saying. So they don't address your
Matter if it's right or
allegations.
wrong. That's horrible.
Oh yeah, they. I'm talking to a friend last week, and he told me they just made up a witness on him.
What?
And Quincy, just let me chime in because like Daryl, how you said you on the outside looking in, I was on the outside looking in, but I had a chance through an organization we was with to get a peek behind the curtain, and in this peek behind the curtain, I seen everything from good cops like Quincy to the black cops they use to do stuff to black folks. So you can say, well, you can't say it's racist because
Right.
the black cop did it. Because those black cops talk just like
true.
the
Yeah,
white.
for sure.
They talk just like the white cops. They talk
Right.
just like the Trump supporters. Like they say those same talk. And I'm like, being able to see it and watch and being like, oh, this is crazy. So like to your point when you say it's like a gang, like I really heard so many stories about the good guy trying to clean the department, and they're like, oh, this the one that got to go, not the
Yeah, you the anti-venom. You the
yeah,
venom.
not the racist
Yes, for
legacy
sure.
guys. Yeah, so you know, just to let you know, man, it's a whole lot of layers to it, a whole lot behind. And like Ron said, this comment here, they fire cops like Quincy, unfortunately, because they don't want those cops with the
Right.
community ties. They don't want those cops
And that's
that
fucked up.
are cool. Because you know, when we were younger too, though, even all the fuckhead cops, because we knew there was a cop we had, sheriff's department named Flat Top in the hood. We'd be like, a flat top come, y'all niggas
Right.
go. Flat top
Yeah,
from the sheriff.
mustache, cigar man.
Yep, and you know, mustache. We all knew about them dudes, right? But then there was a couple of other cops like, oh, Evans and Jackson coming. They gonna come play catch with us. They gonna talk to us. They gonna let us know what's going on in the hood. They gonna let us know, hey, they about to come over here and start fucking with y'all. Those are people that if something happened and they need to know some information, the community will actually talk to them because they've been like embedded in the community the whole time, man. You know what I mean? So of course we need more of that. And that brings me to the point about goddamn Trump talking about he wants to give all cops federal immunity. Because I seen a lot of people saying, well, they got immunity already. I said, no, what y'all don't understand is he's saying he gonna give them immunity on a federal level. They don't have that right now. Right now it's at a state level.
Can I say something, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
That dude, if they pass that, they turn their streets into Red Dawn. The movies that we seen growing up, it'd be Red Dawn, like Purge and all that bullshit. They be able to shoot you in your fucking forehead and go home and eat steak. They don't care. They ain't got nobody to look up to. But just to reinnovate, on Quincy, I grew up on 50th and Hooper, 1301 East 50th Street, across from Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church. I went to Hooper Elementary, junior high. I went to Nobel in 7th grade, got kicked out. I went to Fauché from 8th and 9th, and I graduated from Dorsey in the class of 95, right? So I understand the interaction. But on the east side, I was a cat, like, we interacted with Newton, Crawford, Miss Woods, and Orsenegger, Galloway, Contreras. Those cats, they were treacherous. Like, they don't care who you were. And I really respect the fact that Quincy is really representing who he was as a person, because I don't get that from him. I don't get those cops that I had interactions with. I was a wayward child, you know what I'm saying? Like, my mom was murdered in 95, 2 days after my 18th birthday. Not to throw anything on you guys, you know what I'm saying? But I don't carry that weight with me. It's not nobody's responsibility to deal with what I got to deal with every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a past. I did time. I'm not embarrassed about that. I tell people, because you guys never know who you're in the room with. You guys would have never guessed that from interacting with me. You know what I'm saying? But I am a different person. The time that I spent helped me become the person that you guys are in view of now. You know what I'm saying? So I am a citizen. I appreciate the point that I am a citizen now. I kick myself in the ass not doing it sooner. But we go through things in life. You know what I'm saying? But to have a person, I've never talked to a person like Quincy in my life. Never had a level playing field. I appreciate you for that, DC, because it gives me a point to really reflect. Just to show there are really good people out there, good officers. There was an officer when I was growing up. We was in the Newton Boosters Association. We played flag football at Jeff, at Ross Snyder's and stuff like that. His name was Daryl Howe. Good guy, light-skinned guy, green eyes. He was dope. We rode on the police bus, the same bus they take you to court with when you in CCB and all that shit when you in the county jail. We rode as kids. We played flag football at Jefferson, other places. But he was very decent. He always talked to us individually. He didn't show one person more love than the next. He was dope. He was a good person. You know what I'm saying? And even interacting with police in the community after the fact. I used to ask about him. He never had a bad rap because police are used to like putting salt on somebody. You know what I'm saying? Quincy can contest that. Like as soon as they have opportunity, he ain't good. Trust in me. Because I want you to give me your information so I can book somebody. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Daryl Howe was pretty cool, man. And I commend you, Quincy, for doing what you have to do. I apologize for you having to go through what you have to go through because it like ended your career, whatever what you wanted to do. But at the end of the day, you did what was right. Like everybody on this platform is doing what's necessary. We're talking about something that's relevant. Most people don't have the courage to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you. And I just feel blessed to be in this spectrum right now. It's pretty dope. I'm like my eyes are open to a point where I don't think it would have ever been open if it wasn't for you guys right now. I apologize for like overwhelming you guys. It's like talking and shit.
But let me tell you, but that's exactly why we do this show, right? Because we know there's a lot of cats like you out there who don't have somebody on your level coming from where you came from that you can relate to that has the information that we have. And we learned that from like the last 2 election cycles, right? We learned, I was like, the amount of misinformation that I see young brothers spreading all the time is crazy. But because the certain channels that stuff gets put through, people think it's right. People stick to it and they want to stick to their guns. And the hardest thing for somebody to say is, oh, I was wrong. I had the wrong information. Let me change my mind. You know, because what I get a lot of times is like, cats just want to tell me, like, I say, well, you said this about this, but this is what's actually true. Instead of them saying, oh, okay, they say, well, fuck that, something else. Like they throw something else into the fire.
Accountability.
You know what I mean?
Accountability.
Yeah, like so and one of the biggest things I've been learning this election, because like you, Daryl, and Quincy can tell you, when Kamala first was getting in the election, almost me and everybody I knew was on some, I ain't rocking with her, she arrested niggas.
It was like it's cool. Token nigga, that type shit. You know what I'm saying? They just put it on the page because they want the black on the floor. Yeah, that's bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we always on. So then as I like got more into politics myself, started learning more about, first of all, the game of politics, because it's such a dirty game. But once I start getting more into like, let me go fact check stuff for myself instead of, so what happens is you'll listen to somebody that you trust say something and you just run with it. Oh, I believe him because that's the homie. So if he said it, it must be true. You know what I mean? And so what happens is that happens. And so a bunch of like false narratives get ran with, especially within the black community, because you know our shit is like the at-work network. One person say something, another person catch on, the next thing you know, that rumor runs. You know, the truth can spin around the world before, I mean, the lie can spin around the world before the truth hit the corner. You know what I'm saying? So
I need that. You gotta text that
word
to me.
on the
Text that to me,
street
please.
is
Text that to me, bro. Please. Text. I need that. That's dope. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's cool right there. I like
that's one
that.
of the reasons. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I wanted to do shows like this, though, is just to talk about everything, have a place for us to come congregate and have these kinds of conversations, because there's a lot of things brothers just don't know, because who on here really is what you would call the CNN demographic? None of us really is this,
everybody got their own flaws. Every playing field is not level.
Well, I'm just saying, like, a lot of times you just like, I'm not watching CNN, that's bullshit. And we just remember from being kids that ticker on the thing and it just being old white men telling news. We don't relate to that shit. We not attracted to that shit. Who gonna watch Fox News? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like we have to have a place where we come and we can have these conversations with each other to not only help uplift each other, but also to help educate each other. Because I tell people all the time, and this is the conversation I've been having, look, I get it if you don't like Kamala Harris. There are definitely things that you can critique in her record, but I want you to be critiquing her real record, not critiquing some bullshit. There are real criticisms that you can have. There are real criticisms you can have about her and the Biden administration. Because as an independent, I don't look at it as, oh, everything the Democrats do is right, everything the Republicans do is wrong. I don't look at it like that. I look at what, and Quincy will tell you, we always say, what's the policies? Let's go read the policies. Like I literally have in my phone the Trump platform, because I went to his page. Damn what he even say on TV. I went to Trump's website and read through all of his policies that he put forth so I can see for myself. Because I'm gonna tell you the craziest thing, and I've seen this with a lot of black male voters who don't like Kamala. I asked them, I say, okay, if you don't like her and what she did, if you don't like the Biden administration, tell me what policies that Trump is enacting that you like. and that will affect you. And I'm telling you, Daryl, 11
That's dope.
times
I
out of
swear.
10, they have not given me a
Nothing
policy
to say.
yet.
Crickets.
I
Crickets.
know more about his policies than they do. The so-called Trump supporters, I know more about, but what it is
That's
they like the
crazy,
nigga
bro.
personality. Oh, he say what he like. A lot of times, this is what you get. Quincy, tell me if I'm lying. He say what he want. He don't give a fuck. He a straight shooter. Yeah, like they be saying shit that like that has nothing.
He gonna give me that stimulus check.
Yeah, right there. That's what I was saying. What they honestly say, Trump gonna bring the dollars. But one thing I fear about, one thing I tell you, I fear about Trump. If Trump is in office, there are going to be a group, a faction of people that have no qualms about showing their dislike for other races, and that's dangerous.
Oh
and
no,
it's toxic. It's toxic. You know what I'm saying?
That's already the norm. I think
it's like Red Dawn, bro. The people, they're going to shoot you in the forehead and feel like Trump said it's okay for me to hate you because he displays he don't like black people. He just want their backing. He want to get in office and reap the benefits of the amenities where he feel he has coming. He's very entitled. I'm not going to knock him because he's a great businessman. He's a cutthroat. He's a snake. That's the premise of business. You know what I'm saying? Rather than seem good. I own two businesses. I own a taffy business and I own a small security company.
Daryl, let me say one thing though, because I think this is the thing that people get wrong. It's not that Trump don't like black people. Trump don't like nobody. And I think most people realize that.
Okay, you're right. My bad.
Trump ain't even loyal to his white folks. If you really,
I wish I had that Jamaican horn. That was been dope right there. He don't like nobody. You're right. My bad.
He don't even like his vice president right now because
he don't give a shit. You're right. He's stupid. I don't care. I'm Trump. I'm the man.
Yeah. So
he tried to get his last vice president killed.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There's a certain level.
During their interaction.
To his disdain.
Go ahead,
I said there's levels to his shit, and even though it's true, he don't like. He don't have any allegiance, I should say, to anybody.
Right.
Like if he could hierarchy it, you wouldn't be. It wouldn't be a level playing field of dislike.
Never with that guy.
I'm just saying, when he talks about immigration, he says Sweden and these other countries are better than anywhere else. When every African I know, if they don't have two degrees in medicine, they think they're underachievers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
and that's not cool. You're right. You're definitely right.
So that's horrible. It's no secret of how he feels about black people, except for what they, what they can do for him as a utility, for this election. He can't get in office without the black vote, which was proven, when he got voted out. So it's everything that he says right now is an appeal to just try to get the black vote, and after that, he has no more use for you. He's already trying to take away all the voting rights and all that stuff, and the gerrymandering and rewriting the district lines for voting in these different states and stuff like that. They don't give a shit about you in the long run. Although he don't like nobody, but he really ain't got no use for black folks, bro.
So I have a question, right? How do you feel we can combat that? But you feel like we're trying to make up for what we feel we're lacking from what we see in the internet and in the industry and the world today? Or what did you feel we need to do to correct that, though? Because it always feels when we see shit on the internet or TV like we're trying to catch up to something. Like we're not putting our stake in the ground and solidifying our own flag and just doing what we got to do to move forward. Like it's always a crab in the barrel effect. I see you, V, at the top of the mountain. I feel he ain't doing it like I feel I should do it. So I'm gonna pull him down. I'm gonna get up there, but then I'm not gonna respect it because I didn't put in the work that V Ray put in to get up at the top. So that's the divide in our society, which is fucked up. Excuse my language, but it's like the crab in the barrel effect. Somebody at the top, we feel like I think I can do better, but we don't put in the work to get there though. We don't even recognize what he did, the sacrifices, the devotion that he put in place to get to where he's at. But we feel because we have that warped system of entitlement that just because our mama and daddy said we were special, everybody got to believe it. We fuck up what's going on, and that's crazy in this world today. There's a lot of kids out there, a lot of adults, a lot of OGs, and a lot of like old people that feel like just because my mom and daddy said I was special, you got to listen to what I'm saying. That's not what it takes to be successful in this world today.
Well, I mean, I think there's a twofold course of action. One, Trump can't get elected. I don't give a fuck what.
It's gonna be
Happens.
horrible.
I don't give a shit what else is going on. Put Gary Coleman against that motherfucker. He can't be president. You know what I'm saying? A, and then B, I just think that black people need to put more emphasis on voting locally. You know what I mean? I think that everybody's always looking at the presidential race as the big prize, but the only can affect change, those ripple effects, by voting for the local people, policy creators in your town or in your state or in your city or in your district, in your city, in your state. You know what I mean? And vote your interests at that level, and the people that you send to Congress that actually create the laws and stuff can help affect that kind of change, and hold your vote for ransom if you don't fucking do what you said you were going to do, or you don't put those plans in motion, or you don't do this or that and the third, then I'll take my vote somewhere else,
Hey,
but
let me.
go ahead. Last thing, real quick, is you just got to have realistic expectations of what you plan to get out of your politicians and what you think they can do. You know what I mean? So that's it.
Yeah, so I want to piggyback off V. Ray said about local elections. What people don't know is those local elections actually affect you more directly and more quickly and vastly than the presidential election, right? Like you basically think about it, stuff got to trickle all the way down from Washington, D.C., legislation wise, before it even touches California. Just think about that. And just even if you just think about it in terms of distance, before you think of time.
Pipeline.
Yeah, in the pipeline, but just it got to trickle all the way from DC before it touch us, right? That's first. And then second, when it comes to your school budgets, when it comes to your tax dollars and how they spent, when it comes to infrastructure and the streets being jacked up, that's not the president. All that is our local elections and those people who hold those budgets. And because we don't show up to city council meetings, because we don't say nothing to our congressmen and our senators, they doing whatever the hell they want to do. I'll tell you something. This is a true story. Again, Quincy can attest to this. Me and Quincy was working on a campaign because we worked on a couple of campaigns, and we was working on the campaign, and the campaign manager for this very prominent politician said to us, y'all the first black people who came in here with demands of what y'all wanted for y'all vote. He said, I watched Asian people coming here and say you're not getting no donations or talking to my people until you do A, B, and C. He said, I've seen the Latinos do it. He said, all the black people who came in here, and it was a Latino dude who told us, he said, all the black people who have came in here so far just been asking for shit for themselves. He said, y'all literally the first ones to ask for something for the community. Like y'all, because we was like, I'm not talking to none of my people unless I get something in writing to say you're gonna do this for the community, you're gonna put money here, blah, 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 blah. And I said I need it on the email, and we need it on your we just said we need it on the email. They said, well, we do you one better. We came back, that shit was on all of their campaign papers that was going out. Like they changed their whole campaign.
Policies that we suggested, they added to their campaign stuff.
Yeah, so they said we were the first black people, and the crazy thing was this was very late in the election, and they said they met with a bunch of so-called black leaders, and they said the black leaders came in there asking for CCWs for themselves, get their homies out of jail, just hookup shit, like straight hookup shit.
Bullshit.
So we came in there with a list. We came in a list like, if you want us to talk to our community about you and vouch for you, this is what we need, A, B, C, D. And the dude took us to the side after the meeting, and he said, so I said all that to say, local elections, bro, are very, very important, because those are the things, if you get in with the right people locally, you can really, really touch what's going on in your neighborhood with so much more immediacy than waiting for it to get done through the presidency. So I'm glad, V-Ray, I'm glad you said that. Like, pay attention to your local elections, because it's very, very, very important. And like you said, V, I know how people always try to say like elections, like, oh, it's the lesser of two evils and they both the same. Listen, this the first time I've ever seen this. This is the first time I've ever seen this. They ain't the same this time. And just to show you, I'm for real, just to show you how it ain't the same. One, Trump already said, if you vote for me this time, you'll never have to vote again. He already set up the Supreme Court to give him full immunity to do whatever he wants. So that means he's setting up for him to be more of a dictator than a king. He said he wants to strike out the Constitution. This ain't nothing I'm making up.
Kim Jong Un.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
something
he said it. He said it in his speech.
Said it. Yeah, he said it in his speech, and he always, if you go back, all of the dictators, those are the people he admired. Those are the people that he talks about glowingly when he talks about world leaders. You go back to his presidency and look how much he admires. He said he wanted one of those parades where the armies come out and he stands there and he wants to be in military guard.
Yeah, Kim Jong Un, Genghis Khan, people like that. Yeah,
like so he wants that. So for people to think that you over exaggerate, no, because one of the young ladies who worked for Trump, she said he started trying to do the Project 2025 stuff at the end of his last presidency. And she said she saw the executive order that was drawn up before he lost the election, where he was talking about anybody who didn't support him that worked in government. And I'm talking about in any level. He said they can be fired and replaced with somebody who was a Trump supporter.
Oh yeah, like
can you guys put a rose on it and just say that nigga's smart? He's very smart. He's strategic, but it's crazy. I'm just saying, like,
I wouldn't say
for sure, that, right? That part, right? But I'm just saying, like, right. Okay, but in our scheme of things, like in the world, like nobody else is willing to do that. Nobody is bold enough to do what he's doing. That's why I say he's smart. You know what I'm saying? Like he holds his nuts and he runs in, and then he has like a big faction that represent him, but everybody is hypnotized. They think when he's in office, he's gonna bring the money. That's the magic trick. Everybody thinks when he gets in office,
well, and you know what? Money. I just want to say some facts about that too, right? Because I'm a fact-based person. Because everybody always talking about Trump had a worse economy than Obama and Biden, and he inherited Biden's amazing economy. And don't say it was because of COVID, because his economy was trash before COVID. Like his economy had went downhill before COVID. He did a big tax break that only benefited billionaires and corporations.
1%, the 1%,
and it hit the middle class harder. So his tax break that was supposedly help his people, and that's what I mean, V-Ray, when I say he don't give a damn about his people, because a lot of his people is the poor whites. The tax break that he was supposedly talking about all the time that was supposed to help them, no, that tax break came out and helped the 1%ers and it helped corporations. And then another thing, if you look to his debt to borrow ratio when he was the president, is much higher. Because the whole thing about conservatives is they supposed to spend less money. That hence conservative, right? He spent trillions more than Barack Obama and the Biden administration. So the Biden administration actually inherited his bad economy, and then the COVID economy on top of that, and they bought it back. So, and a lot of people don't realize that inflation is not just an American problem. Inflation is a global problem. Inflation happened because during COVID, so many corporations lost all the money because they couldn't ship goods, they couldn't move goods. You had warehouses backed up. So what's happening now is the inflation went up because they all trying to get back all that bread they lost during COVID, during the pandemic. That's what's happening. But even with all that inflation, the Biden administration got inflation back down, because I think when he started, I want to say Quincy was around like 8% or something like that. Yeah. And right now it's down to like 5%. Inflation down 5%. Gas prices are going down. And for him, like even Trump saying, like, again, I went and read his platform. He said he wants to make us, go get more energy from the United States, meaning like get more oil from here. Well, the Biden administration has been getting more oil, producing more oil homegrown than any other administration ever. So it's factual things like that I think we just need to know so we can understand. Like when people are like, oh, he gonna bring the money, I'm like, he actually did bring the money, but not to us, yo. Like that money,
to his people, to the 1% only.
And then the other thing, that stimulus those stimulus checks raise everyone's taxes.
So I'm a commercial painter, right? I'm in the union. I'm a commercial painter. I got 2 LLCs. I have a taffy business, and I have a security company, right? Staffing agency, right? So I pay tax on that at the end of each year. No matter if I make $1, I got to pay at least the minimum $800 on the LLC, right? And it's like they don't give us the knowledge from the gate with them being in authority in a decent position to where we can avoid those tax breaks like they do. they keep it to where it's only privileged to those people that makes a certain amount of money, which is fucked up. Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to have that. Now I'm learning. I'm building my steps. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hustler. I'm a grinder. I have great work ethic. Like, I can drink Jameson, smoke cigars, and get up and go to work at 4 o'clock in the morning, and nobody ever knows what happens. You know what I'm saying? I have great work ethic. My biggest obstacle is dealing with different personalities in this world. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that was embedded for me as a kid to work. Go to work. Don't be lazy. Get your money. They're going to pay you for what you're doing. There's not going to be one person that actually do something for free unless it's family. That's what I was taught as growing up. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like you would want a person in that position to show you the ropes. He's keeping a secret.
But why would they?
He feels like
show us the ropes? But Daryl, why would they show us the ropes? That ain't the game. You understand?
That's the entitlement aspect. That's the entitlement. Yeah. That's the entitlement aspect. I'm gonna just keep it clear. You know what I'm saying? I would like that.
No, I'm not saying that's not even entitlement. I'm saying like literally. And V. Ray, who does taxes, can probably attest to this. There's a lot of things that black folks in general just don't know about how to run tax. Even the guys who do stuff the good way don't know the shady ways like that they know, because they literally have all these tax shelters and they have access to resources that we don't have in order to do that stuff. And because V. Ray will tell you this too, when we try that shit, they be coming for us. They'll come for our little punk ass $800.
Hell yeah, they want it. They send me letters all day. They want that shit today, not yesterday. Today, I want it now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool. Your tax percentage.
The other thing is depending upon who's in office, you'll have certain regulations that are in place or regulations removed, and not necessarily know it. So, speaking to your point, Dame, those that are at the top that are aware of the removal of regulations are able to skim more at the top, as opposed to those on the bottom that don't necessarily pay attention to it.
They actually are the architects of a lot of those changes and stuff. Like you've probably seen too some specials that they have where the Republicans have these closed door, no press meetings, like in Georgia or Florida somewhere annually, and all these lobbyists and these big corporations, they have their legal departments draft the bills that they want pushed through Congress. Yeah, so the senator just signs it. They don't even know what's in it half the time. If they get challenged to explain something in their bill, they don't even fucking know what to say because they haven't read it, right? So so the people that are taking most advantage of it are the authors of the rule that's coming into effect. And like with the stuff that's going on now, like Dame was talking about the things that people don't know about when they get their taxes done. Typically, what has happened is like a lot of stuff that got voted in when Trump was in office before. You know, when they pass a law, they may say, okay, it passed, you know, in December of whatever year, but it actually takes effect, you know, in 2 years or something like that, or 3 years. They roll on board. So that's why people are bringing home less money now than they did. Remember, everybody used to have a refund at the end of the year. Damn near everybody really liked playing with with their check and shit like that. Well, the tax laws changed to eliminate a lot of that. You basically it was packaged as you bring home more in your check every payday, but at the end of the year you don't have a refund because basically what they've overtaxed you for through the year, they're putting it in your check, right? But you run the risk of them overpaying you, and then you end up owing at the end of the year. I haven't seen a big tax refund from somebody in a long time, just because the new law is structured to eliminate that. You know, that shit is a thing of the past, except during the pandemic when everybody kind of got the stimulus, and then in your tax return, if you didn't get it during the year, the 2,000 or whatever the money was that they were given during that time, you would get that as part of your refund. And people were like, oh shit, happy days are here again. But as soon as COVID was over, it was back to this reduced amount of refunds. So the take home, the money is chipped up so much, like your little $400 refund that you would get at the end of the year is so chopped up between your 26 paychecks that you get during the year if you get it paid every 2 weeks.
Right.
For real. So if you divide 400 by 26, you know what I'm saying, you're probably bringing home an extra $30, but before taxes, right? So that shit's gone. It's basically evaporated. Now you don't really have it to spend at home, and you don't have it at the end of the year either. So that's my tax soapbox for the moment. But if you need them taxes done, holla at a nigga.
Look, some free games from Wild Thoughts. And Mars, I wanted to touch on something you said too when you talked about deregulation. With Trump doing all those deregulations, that's the reason a lot of these companies get the price gouges. That's the reason a lot of these companies have been able to raise inflation. Because of all the deregulations he did, there's no cap on what they can do. They have nobody that can stop them from doing. They're like, like how the insulin, luckily they put a cap on the insulin when Biden got in office. But remember, they was charging $480 for insulin. Which had been what, $80 for the longest
medication. That's crazy. It's a life-saving medication. How can you charge?
That's right.
Pharmaceuticals are so scandalous. That's the biggest gangster in the world. How can you charge for something that's life-saving though? That's weird.
They were deregulated. Go ahead, Mark.
Right. And the thing about it, I think it was one of his kids was actually trying to buy stock in the companies when they were deregulating. The other thing is, adding on to that, imagine if he gets back in office and then he deregulates the banks.
Oh my God.
Trip. They rolled back the regulations for the environmental protections that they had that Obama had put in place for car manufacturers, right? So I mean, and this had been in place for maybe 2 years by the time Obama left office, maybe even 3. So the manufacturers had already gone through the refitting their factories to like include these new devices that would cause less pollution on cars and give better gas mileage, right? And then Trump came into office and removed the requirement for it. So even though it was already in place for 3 years and everybody was doing it and all this stuff, he took it away. So now cars are starting to generate more pollution like they were before. The whole reason that the law was put into place to begin with, and we're right back there. And now, as you can see, we got one of the biggest forest fires in California history going on right now. Everywhere, everybody got back sweat in America right now and shit because it's hot as shit. You know what I'm saying? And it was unnecessary because the law was already in place and had been in place for a while. So, and look out for the Affordable Care Act. They still gunning for that shit.
Yeah. Oh, let me just mention something. Did you notice that Elon Musk has now done a backstep on the support for Trump?
I don't think they say that shit in public, bro. I don't believe that.
Hey, what do you think? What do you think that entails? What do you think? What do you think is the end game gonna be when it comes to that?
No, because the thing is,
fall for that bullshit. Go look at Mars. Go look at his timeline before you say that. I'm trying to stop you from embarrassing yourself. Go look at his timeline. Go look at the dude's timeline before you say that. Go look at his ex timeline. Let me tell you some of the things he's done since he claimed to say that. Some things he's done since he said that. He's been posting all kind of Trump propaganda on his page. He posted an AI video with Kamala Harris saying all kind of wild shit. He's posted a whole bunch of like, like I said, go look at his timeline, and then I don't know if y'all knew it because we didn't get to talk about this yet, so we can kind of like go into this now. There was a Zoom phone call for Kamala Harris called "White Dudes for Kamala." I don't know if y'all heard about that, right? There was a
that's bullshit, bro.
Zoom call for white.
That's cliche.
No, it's not bullshit. It's actually dope. I'll explain why. So they did White Dudes for Kamala Harris, and they raised $4 million in 3 hours.
Oh my God,
$4 million in 3 hours.
Damn.
So when that happened, guess what? Elon suspended their account.
Oh shit!
You never make president on my watch.
Yeah.
Because when she had made
how many times? What minutes? Like what was the duration of time?
A few hours.
Yeah.
Like
how many hours was it?
3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, 4 million bucks.
3 to 4 hours.
Because when she
had made
$1
million an hour.
When she had made her announcement that she was going to, more or less move forward with it, I know that there was a lot of tech companies that literally fell in line to support her. And that's where I started reading, and I saw this whole comment about Elon. Like, I didn't necessarily say X, Y, and Z. I didn't realize that, he was doing all the other stuff because I don't pay attention to his stuff on Twitter.
Yeah, I do. I do.
I can't
Quincy,
escape the shit.
I was gonna
It seems
say
like,
Quincy made a
man.
good point.
Go ahead, Dan.
I would say Quincy had made a good point. He said like basically he's using Twitter to try to manipulate the election with the stuff he's saying, the people whose accounts that he's muting uh and deleting and suspending and all that stuff. He's using it basically like his own personal, like, if you ain't with Trump, and you remember his whole thing was he wanted to buy Twitter so everybody wouldn't be censored, but now he's censoring everybody who don't agree with him. So that shit is really crazy. But brought me to the point, Daryl. So the reason there was even a call white dudes for Kamala Harris was because the night that she was the night that she was endorsed by Biden to be the presumptive nominee, the next day, or no, was it that same night? That Sunday night,
The same
black women started the first one. It was a Zoom call called Black Women for Kamala Harris, and they got on and they had 120,000 black women, and they raised they raised 2.5 million. They raised 2.5 million. But I think by the end of theirs, they had raised 8 million. I think the next day.
Damn.
By the end of the next day, the black women had raised 8 million. So then the next day, there was black men for Kamala Harris, and I actually got on that call just to see what the temperature was going to be like. And I was shocked at the amount of positive interaction that in comments and stuff that was there, as opposed to negative comments. So the next night, it was 140,000. No, it was 110,000 black dudes, and black men raised 2.8 million that night. So then the next night after that, it was white women for Kamala Harris, and the white women had 100.
Get the fuck out of here! Get out of here, bro!
Yep.
Get the fuck out of here!
That's the one that cracked me up.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 160,000 white women, and they
crashed Zoom.
Yeah, they crashed Zoom.
Not the pale organization. Not the pale organization. The pale people.
And go ahead, Mars.
No, I'm gonna say. I'll say this. Just imagine what's gonna happen when Taylor and Beyonce endorse Kamala.
And I know
that's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm afraid of, bro.
Because you know,
can I say something? Not to cut you off. My bad. So look, I feel it's cheesy, right? Because they're like soliciting the rappers community's votes, right? I feel like it's like it's like an unfair advantage. You know what I'm saying? Because they have we don't have that privilege, right? So hear me out. We don't have that privilege. If we have a cause, we can't reach out to them. You know what I'm saying? I feel it should be on a level playing field.
I have to disagree.
That's my only advice.
I have to disagree with you on that one for the simple fact that Taylor and Beyonce have been very vocal on their support for anything anti-Trump. And you can attest to this, Dame and Quincy. I know we've had conversations within the past elections where there's been a lot more display of involvement in candidates and what it is that they're pushing for and standing for. And I think with these two ladies, they have that platform to not just spread the message or some of the things in which Kamala are pushing for, but also share what is at risk.
Well, I
have a question for you, Mars. Do you think it's strategic or is it actually relevant what they're doing?
It's more relevant. It has nothing to do with being strategic.
It's relevant because it mobilizes a whole another segment of voters within voting age that normally would probably just be blasé about who's running, or you ask a motherfucker on the street half the time that's 21 who's the attorney general or some shit, they wouldn't even fucking know.
They don't even know. I mean? Yeah, right.
But when Snoop Dogg says go vote, or you know what I mean,
they locked in.
Taylor Swift or Beyonce Carter and shit says it, it's likely that there will be some ripples to that. I mean, it may not be everybody just gets up and goes in robot mode and go vote, but the awareness, it definitely makes it show up on people's radar and stuff. Even if they don't endorse a candidate and just say go vote, you know what I'm saying? I think that in itself has the capacity to have an impact.
And just to
Well,
keep it
I
all the way
appreciate
above,
the interaction. Thank you.
yeah,
Go ahead.
just to keep it
Go
all,
ahead.
I say just to
I'm
keep it
sorry.
all the way above, we've always used celebrity endorsements. Like
Mhm.
we've always utilized celebrity
Yeah.
endorsements to get out certain people to vote. Like I think, like I said, I think people looking at it different because the celebrities are young hip hop artists. But if you go all the way back to Frank Sinatra and goddamn John F. Kennedy, you know what I'm saying? Like it's always been there. It's always been a part of politics. And I think we would be a little disingenuous to act like it's something different now, just because it's younger artists, because it's Meg the Stallion as opposed to Frank Sinatra. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Mhm.
something that's always been there, always been embedded. I can go to almost every presidential nominee throughout the years and tell you what celebrity was kind of attached to them, what
Right.
celebrity was kind of the one out there pushing for them and bringing them out on their concerts and stuff like that. Like so, it's always been there.
And
I think
actors and shit too.
yeah, actors too, but I think what's happening is it feels like Kamala is having an unfair advantage because more actors, more celebrities like her than Trump.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like she's able to get Meg and Quavo, and Trump got Amber Rose and Hulk
She
Hogan.
should have got Kendrick. Everything would have been fine.
Well, that was the next question which I was going to ask you, Dame, is that knowing how involved Kendrick is and knowledgeable of politics, do you see him speaking on it?
So this is where
For
I
sure.
don't know, but I know that she's using that's funny
Not
you
like
said
us as
Reagan
far as
stop
the
working with but no, what I will say is I know that Beyonce's Freedom song is being used as Kamala's main campaign song right now in all her ads. Whenever she goes to do a speech, Freedom is the song that they're playing. And I know Kendrick is on that song. So if he is inclined to participate, because I have never seen him really participate on a political level, but if he was to participate in the political level at this point on this scale, one, it would be huge for Kamala if he did. It would be
Right.
that would be a huge endorsement, a huge get, especially with the heat he got on him right now. And I think that would put her in a whole different kind of echelon with the 18 to 34 crowd. You know what I mean? Well, like I said, but I feel like she's doing a good job with outreach right now. Like I said, having
Yeah.
Meg Thee Stallion, who has 70 million followers, and Quavo, and I'm sure and she's going to get some of the Beehive because she's using Freedom. Like she's doing a good job of kind of like picking up those 18 to 34s that nobody think about. You know what I'm saying? Like that nobody has actually. You know what I'm saying? That people have forgotten about or that people don't take serious, because that's one of the things you see in the comments is like, oh, I don't take her serious because she did that. I'm like, that's funny you say that, because these people, these kids in the audience with all this excitement and all this energy, they are taking her very serious because they feel like she's listening to them. They feel like she's talking to them. They feel like they now have a stake in democracy because they have a candidate who's trying to even reach out to them. So like Quincy said earlier about, like, it's not pandering when that's your actual demographic. You know what I mean? Like her actual
Yeah.
demographic would be young black kids from 18 to 34, or young kids, period. Because there was a lot of white kids in that audience.
Yeah.
In Atlanta. And I don't know if y'all saw when she did Wisconsin, I was surprised. The crowd was like 80% white in Wisconsin.
But a big part of her platform being women's health, health issues and health rights goes a long way. It has tentacles into every demographic and every race and shit like that, because I mean the amount of people that were really against Roe v. Wade being overturned, you know what I mean, is part of this, is relating to her as a woman, you know what I mean, on the stump. Petitioning for these same things. I mean, Biden says women's rights matter. It has some weight to it, but when a female candidate says it, I think it has a different spin to it, a little more relatable edge for women in Wisconsin, Idaho, Iowa, Kansas, wherever. Because even Kansas overturn the blocking abortion in their state.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think it transcends the normal demographics in politics, having a woman as a candidate this year.
And speaking of having
Beyonce don't hurt, but I'm just saying that
right.
that's a real political issue that is relatable and you don't have to be black to get it. You don't have to be young to get it. You know what I mean? It's just chicks want to have autonomy over their body. You know, and it's a simple ask, but for some reason, you know, it's a hill that the Republicans are willing to die on.
Yeah. Oh, somebody asked a question on Instagram. I'll be forgetting to go to Instagram. But they asked, how do I know that the 18 to 34 people feel that way? So the 18 to 34 people feel that way. I know they feel that way because once she became the presumptive nominee, they said they had an uptick in voter registration in that age group. Like the day she became, you know, the nominee, not because she's not official to the convention, but you know, the day that Joe Biden stepped down and she became the nominee, they had an uptick of over it was almost like 500,000 people who 500,000 people who signed up to vote to register, and then after that, her campaign alone got 75,000 volunteers.
80. Oh, I thought 80. You were talking. You know, she raised 80 million within one day.
Yeah, she raised 80 million within one day, and then
Joe Biden's war chest, though, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. No. It was separate.
And these were grassroots.
Her 200 was separate from the 96 he had, because I'm sure the Democrats wanted to see what she could raise on her own. So she raised that 200 million before they even talked about Joe Biden's war chest.
200 million. That's crazy.
He said, give me the data. I just gave you the data.
Who is this person?
I don't know. That sounds like democratic propaganda. It's not propaganda. If you can bro, Google works. Just go look it up for yourself. You can look up the amount of people who registered to vote. You can look up the amount of people who volunteered for her campaign. It's literally everywhere. So if you don't believe me, go look it up for yourself, bro. I don't have a reason to give democratic propaganda, because I've been talking about both sides and what they've done. I've been talking about the energy that's come since she's became the nominee. So if you don't believe me, it's true. Go look up how much she raised since she became the nominee. Go look up how many volunteers.
Name names, man. Who is this person that don't watch the news? Or
Africa the G. And he said, I'm saying what somebody said. I'm not saying what somebody said. I'm saying what I read for myself, brother. So this is what I see.
Can he vote in this country if that's the case? Like, what
I believe you can. I'm not fully equipped. I think you can. I really think you can.
I'm suspicious of that account, man. I'm gonna go look this person.
Africa
That's what's up, B. Ray. I like it.
The G. Chairman Africa of the Black Panther Party. Okay.
All right.
So you know that's some 14-year-old white kid.
Hey, Rex. All I can say is that at the next convention, I want to be there if Meg is there. It's a great A.
You're gonna be running for president next time, bro.
But like I was saying.
All right, Morris, I see you.
The energy that is behind her right now is something that Joe Biden didn't have. The polls have showed that her favorability has went up. The polls have shown that the gap that Trump had, because he had a wide margin, that gap has closed. Because I think Biden was down like 10 points in a lot of places, and especially in some of the big swing states. And they say it's virtually a tie right now. So now it's basically they starting 0-0. So she got a lot of campaigning to do. She got a lot of work to do. But that's what's going on.
It's one of the reasons why he don't want to debate her.
Yeah.
The strategy would need to be is to talk about policy, and that's his Achilles heel.
But the thing about it is that she's a trained prosecutor. Like he can't go against a woman. She's a prosecutor, and it's a black woman with attitude.
But you ain't even got to be all that. I could go up there and ask the motherfucker what he's gonna do about policies and shit.
As y'all saw today, I don't know if y'all saw, Trump was invited to the NABJ, National Alliance of Black Journalists today, and they were asking him specific questions about policy, and he could not answer his specific questions about policy. He just said, I'm going to do a great job. I'm going to bring down inflation. And once we bring down, and then they said, so how are you going to bring down inflation? He couldn't answer. He just kept saying, just know we're going to bring it down. So then he's talking about immigration. even when he was talking about immigration, and again, for myself, I like to go by the facts. He was talking about how immigration is so bad now. Well, right now, the border has less border crossings than they did when Trump presidency ended. What people don't know is, because I know the Democrats don't like to say this because they be trying to hide it so they can keep that Latino vote. But the Democrats have deported more folks than the Republicans ever. You know what they called Obama? They
Off
called him
top.
the deporter. They called him the deporter in chief. So all this that they
No.
saw on the border, yeah, they did. They called it, yeah. So go look it up. So all
Obama
this
was getting niggas up out of here.
yeah,
That's crazy, bro.
That fool deported his brother.
Oh shit.
Quincy, I need your information, Quincy. I like you, bro. You dope. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Can I ask you a question about the immigration?
yeah.
It's this narrative that immigrants is taking black jobs. How many of y'all know somebody who had their job taken by immigrants?
Well, I'll tell you something.
Because I
So I'll speak on something, right?
I ain't never met a black person that said, "Damn, I could have had that job, but they gave it to a Mexican."
So I'm in the union. Excuse my French. I'm in the union. I'm a commercial painter. I'm a level 3 apprentice. I'm starting from the bottom, right? There's never been opportunities where a Hispanic has taken my job. I show up an hour early every single day. The biggest thing for me is there were different multiple personalities. Working is easy for me. I show up. I can get hammered, drink my drink, smoke my cigars, and then show up an hour early every day. It's not about that. It's about work ethic. My work ethic is upper echelon. Like I show up, but for me, it's the different personalities. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem for me. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I think the point I'm trying to make is the job that the immigrants want, we don't want.
No.
But there's this narrative that they're taking our jobs, and I don't think that's true. There's 6 of us on this call. Do any of us know any black person who complained about immigrants taking their job?
Never.
Well, just
what they say like Hispanics. They say Hispanics take the job because they being lazy, but they never say immigrants.
Well, Daryl, that's a Republican talking point too, right? Because they basically trying to pit us against each other by saying,
right.
That's all that is. But I will say a vast, large amount of the immigrants who do work here, they work jobs, and I know this because I've been doing some work with the Black Farmers Index with one of my homegirls. She's been teaching me, teaching me about what the Black farmers have been doing in all the different states and the outreach. Yeah, so one of the things that the Black farmers have been saying, and even a white farmer, I gotta find it because it was like a white Republican conservative farmer said this. They said they put in the newspaper first, they post on social media, and they do like all the classified ads to try to get people to come work the farms with them during harvesting season. And the shit not easy, it's hard, it's in the heat, it's real hard labor work. And they said they can't get nobody to work for them. So a lot of times they have to end up hiring immigrants. And there's this program, I forgot the name of the program, but there's this program where you hire immigrants to come in and work your farm, and they work your farm for the season, and you got to give them housing and pay them. And there's a certain amount, there's a certain amount that they get, but they go back home after farming season is over. It's called like HB2LA or something like that. But the Black farmers have said people think we want to hire them. They said we get penalized. Like when we have to hire them, we get an extra tax on us as farmers because we have to hire people from outside the country. They said, but we have to hire them because we can't get people to take these jobs, and we've been trying to get people to take these jobs for years.
Send me the link.
That's just to give you. I will. But that's just to give y'all some more. You know what I'm saying? Some more background on what's really going on.
I think for us, I ain't trying to be funny, but farming might seem a little triggering for us.
Right. Like in the field, cotton shit. I got you, right? But I'm a worker. As long as there ain't no bullshit overhead, I'm going to show up and get my money. You know what I'm saying? I'm a worker. I like to have calluses on my hands at the end of the day, but I understand what you're saying. I appreciate it.
I can see farming being a little triggering for me.
Right.
I'm out there and it's hot and somebody yell at me, I might square up.
It's just high level gardening.
I love
man.
it.
That's all. It's
You're right. You're right, bro. I love it. That's what's up. Yeah.
Hey, but you know, a funny thing in connection to this job taking concept is that in Georgia, when Ron DeSantis enacted this thing about I forget what the policy was, but it was something to do with anti-immigration and preventing certain status of aliens working in the country to not be able to do their jobs. So basically, the form when he enacted that, and the Mexicans weren't able to show up for the jobs that they were already doing in the country, the construction industry tanked in Atlanta or in Georgia. No, DeSantis is Florida, right? I'm sorry, in Florida. So the construction industry tanked in Florida, and the agricultural industry just came to a screeching halt. And I was watching a special on, I think, NBC or one of the news specials where somebody was like the man on the street thing, driving through like these subdivisions that were like a couple of days before were active construction projects with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 houses being built all at the same time, getting the framing up and they doing their job and shit like that. And there was nothing. Everything was all it was all quiet. Each of those houses, they looked like a ghost town, right? And then it rained, and then all the supplies that were sitting out there that should have been actually in use and installed into the houses, they got all wet and they couldn't be used. Like the wood got warped and shit like that because it got wet and then it got hot. And so the housing industry just took a major bullet because of that, and the agricultural industry, the whatever the crops were that they would be picking and to go to market, they were just rotting in the fields and shit like that because dude got so high level with his racism and shit and kicked out all the Mexicans out of those jobs, thinking that there was going to be a flood of people like finally, thank God I can get a job and like go and pick strawberries and shit like that. And when the Mexicans left, nobody came and took those jobs and shit. So you got to be careful what you wish for with this whole they're coming in and taking our jobs kind of shit.
So Dan, let me ask you this question: How do you feel?
Hold on, I gotta address some comments. Hold on, I gotta address some comments. So he said, Africa the G said, in the factories they hire undocumented because they pay them less. They don't pay them less. Like I said, in this program, there's a specific amount you have to pay. Like you don't get away with, like, when you put them, because this is a government program that you put them through. And again, you could pay black people the exact same thing. So if you saying they don't pay enough, that's why they're not taking the jobs. Okay, so then you can't say that they're taking black people jobs if you saying they don't pay enough and they don't want those jobs. And that's what Quincy's point was. Why you saying we sound like MSNBC? Quincy's point was a lot of those jobs that y'all saying.
Tell that nigga name again, man. AFRIKA. And what else?
Yeah.
The G, THE.
Yeah, Africa the G. Yeah, go Africa the G on Instagram.
Instagram. Okay.
Well, let me ask you this. Speaking of taking jobs, how do you feel about Disney taking all those Fox viewerships with the Deadpool movie?
Bro.
Hey, Deadpool was bullshit, bro. That shit was bullshit, bro.
Oh, you tripping. You what?
Oh,
you bugged out.
Man,
I went to sleep, bro. I went to sleep. So
that's at 4 a.m. That shit was
look, that's what it is, right? So when I go out to movie with Tia, I fall asleep. That's just me. I don't know what it is.
I was gonna say, like, if you fell asleep,
she take me to the spots where they have reclining seats and we pregame. That's the problem.
But wait, Mars. Before we go there, hold on. Before we go there, bro, I want to talk about Trump at the end. We ain't talk about that. I want to talk about some of the things he said. And first of all, Quincy, let me ask you this: do you feel like, because some people were upset that he was even invited? I wasn't upset because I feel like as a journalist, you should talk to everybody and you should give everybody a chance. If you agree or not, that's just me. I feel like as a journalist, especially if you get a chance to talk to the presidential candidates, you talk to both. But I know the co-chair quit because they invited Trump. Do you think so? That's my first question to the panel. Do you think they should have invited Trump to speak?
I do. I just think the panel wasn't right. You got to have the right people on the panel. You got a chick from Fox News. She was softballing like black people don't care about.
He was really giving respectful responses to too.
Yeah, like black people don't give a damn about JD Vance or whatever his name is. we want to know the questions that what's her name, Rachel Scott was asking. That's why he was getting mad at her, because those are the real questions we want to know. And so no, I felt that he should have been invited, but I would like to have seen Roland up there. I would
Yeah.
like to see Joy Reid up there. I would like to see April Ryan up there. A couple of people who I know that would not have allowed him to just filibuster them like that and sit up there and lie.
Well, I
But,
heard
but I,
so I heard one of the reasons that they were late because Trump was fighting against them being able to fact check him. Because
Yeah,
that's a big thing. Even
of
when he
course
does
he
his
was.
debate,
Right,
he
right,
don't want to
right.
be
Yeah, he
fact
tripping.
checked. He don't want to be fact checked live. So that was one of the big things that they were fighting before. Even with the audio, they said that they were fighting with Trump's camp about them being able to fact check him. So that's why a lot of stuff you heard that they just didn't fact check, and they was trying to be like, okay, cool, let's move on. Because like you said, a lot of times, like for me, give him a chance to lay out his policy. Give him a chance to lay out his policy, because if they want to rock with his policy, then they have a full picture. But I don't think that he ever really laid out
No,
his real policy while he was there. I think he had a plan, to me, and I could be wrong. I feel like he wanted to show up to say, look, I showed up for the black people, because you know how he talks, right? Like, look, I showed up for the black people. Kamala didn't, because he even said that right when he was on the panel, and then he was, and it's funny because how he was switching his tone in the middle of the interview while talking to the young lady from Fox, and then talking to the young lady from ABC. It was literally like he was in two different interviews at the same time. It was kind of crazy. But what do you think would have made it better? You know what I'm saying? What do you think would have made it better if those people that you wanted to interview them, what would have made it different?
well, I think they definitely would have fact checked him on the spot, but also, like, once he go off on a tangent, stick to your question. I would have went right. Hey, you never answered my question. You made you made these remarks about black people. You call black people animals. You refer to black women in the media a certain way. All these things. Based on your actions, why should we trust you? I would have been right back to it. Like, because he goes off, I've been the best president for black people since Abraham Lincoln, which is a fucking lie. I don't know why people let him get away saying that shit. Like, I'm
well,
sure LBJ got something to say about that. But
well,
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't think it was bad that he went on there simply because it puts him under the microscope. I mean, I didn't think that he was going to say anything that swayed um, anybody that wasn't going to vote for his ass before to start voting for him. But what it did was put him on public display about how ineffective he is with anything policy related. You know what I'm saying? If you get on there and you got a softball throwing Fox News person, and you got two other people that are just kind of not aggressive with their interview tactics, like you said, a Roland or Joy would be. He still never gave a straight answer for anything. He still inadvertently said racist shit about black jobs and just other dumb shit. So it really just gives everybody a chance to affirm what they already suspect of him. If he would have got on there and been dazzling and charming as fuck, and you know what I'm saying, and said some really deep shit, then I would have been like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming. But the fact that he was just the run of the mill as Donald Trump, lying, deflecting, and all that shit like that, saying Kamala Harris used to say she wasn't black and shit like that. Like, nigga, you just basically went on TV and played yourself. And I thought about Kamala not being there, which I don't even know that was a big thing to begin with. But I think that since they want to get him on a debate stage, that this would have been premature for her to be on the same platform with him and kind of have any kind of back and forth in that stage, and that being out for him to not do the debate that he's trying not to
Yeah,
do anyway.
well, that's why he went, because he knew she wasn't gonna be there.
Well, I thought he
Let
said
me
he was
address
expecting her to be there.
let me address some of these Instagram comments. So Patience Cero. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Kamala had evidence to keep a black man on death row. That's actually not true.
That's not true.
And the black man that was on death row, they ended up testing his DNA, and he actually did it, and they actually found him for that and a couple of other murders. She locked up black mothers. Go look that up for yourself. Africa the G, she held black men in jail so they could fight fires. Go look that up yourself. He said, I haven't heard anything yet that will serve our people. When did Kamala become black?
Oh,
Okay,
Jesus Christ.
Oh, right. So
wait, hold up, time out. She held black men in jail to fight fires.
If they would do the research, they would realize that in totality, the number of black people that were actually incarcerated was 45.
It was 45.
Right, and the reason why it was 45 is because they refused to cooperate and didn't give a fuck.
But hold up, Mark. We don't even, because it don't really says the statistic is really no statistics on race. It just she got 1,900 convictions. Out of that 1,900, 45 went to jail. We don't even know out of that 45 how many are black.
Right, but the 45 that went to jail were not cooperating and didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
She was trying to help folks. And on that note, I got to turn in.
Yeah, I got to get up at 4 in the morning, gentlemen. I'm sorry. I appreciate the level playing field. I love you all, but I'm going to get up at 4 in the morning.
All right, man.
All right, bro.
All right, see y'all.
Love you guys, man. You guys be good, man.
All right, peace, bro.
Wouldn't have Jamaicans not being black.
Who's Jamaican?
Her father.
Yeah.
Oh. Man, I'm saying some of that shit like that he be saying, it ain't even worth like a discussion.
Well, because he said y'all know the statistics. Yeah, we actually do know the statistics because we look it up. Like, you're literally just like y'all saying stuff that has been so far debunked, bro. Like, and if you're supposed to be from Black Panther, I will hope
African Black
that
Panther
if you and I think me and you did a show before with Kaia. Now that I see who you are, I think we did a show before with Kaia on Ark Republic. So if you're supposed to be with the Black Panther, I will hope that you would be better informed with the truth, dog. Like, again, if you say you don't like some of her policy, let's talk about the policy of hers that you don't like, but let it be the truth, not this conjecture and this stuff that been debunked literally by. You can go to the Justice Department. You can look up her arrest numbers. You get, because you say debunked by who again?
It's public record. He can go look at it.
It's literally public record.
Echoing memes, bro.
Like
what's
the
Justice Department's Instagram?
Like
I said, there's many things to criticize, but if we're gonna criticize stuff, let's criticize stuff that actually happened, bro. And I'm from California, so we know what happened. You ain't even from here talking about what happened here when she was the AG. You from Jersey, nigga. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are you talking about? You can't substantiate that man was on death row and he was innocent, because he wasn't.
He probably got it.
And the answer, patient Sarah said, when did Kamala become black? Well, they literally have a paper her saying she was black in 1989 in college when she had to fill out her paperwork. She said she was black. She didn't say she was Indian on that paperwork.
She said it in her memoir that her mom did raise her to appreciate her Indian heritage, but she raised her and her sister to be strong black women.
No, hold on. No, that's not the argument that you're not from California. The argument is you're saying stuff that is not true, bro. No.
Do not argue with someone that just wants to bring you down to another level. You got too many brain cells, my brother.
Well, no, because I just it's scary that this person is supposed to be the head of the Black Panthers right now, and they got all this misinformation. To me, that's scary.
I'm not sure
that means you're
Chairman
leading
Africa is the leader of the Black Panther Party.
No.
Is he?
If that's
as Panthers, we believe ideological struggle. I can point to articles. Show me the articles that show the numbers of the things that you're talking about.
I question if he's a Panther.
Bro,
Thank you.
I don't care if you serve your community daily. I do too. Like what? Like this is not a oppression off of who does the most in their community. Like I know what I do in my community, but my thing is, if we're gonna have this conversation about Kamala and the things that we find unsavory, let it be true. And Democracy Now, you said look on Democracy Now. Okay, bro.
Everything, yeah.
Go to the actual records.
Yeah, like I don't like don't even look on any website. Don't look on any website that can have somebody skew on it. You go look at go look at the Department of Justice and her actual arrest numbers as an AG, because you can find that. That's something that's not an opinion, something that's tainted. You can literally go look at her arrest numbers. You can literally go look at what she did. And again, we talked about this earlier. I ain't saying that she ain't never arrested nobody who wasn't innocent. I ain't never saying she was perfect. I'm saying the stuff that you're saying is right-wing talking points that just ain't true.
Yeah, because
That's it.
Because I remember when she was the district attorney, and I remember when she was AG. Yeah, if you from another state, I just found out about her when she became a senator, or probably even BP. But when she was DA and AG, what Republicans said about her is that she was soft on crime and she didn't throw people in jail like the statistics that we mentioned actually show. Out of 1,900 people that got convicted, only 45 went to jail because of statistics like that. And she wasn't going for the death penalty on cop killers. So it's though that's from me, actually someone who voted for her to be AG in the Senate. I remember the narrative that was put on her back then. This throwing black man in jail didn't start until she went for president. That's when that narrative started.
What you saying don't make sense. During the period she served, people went to prison at a high rate. Bro, it's just not true. It's just not true. Again, like I said, go look at the Back on Track program. Go look at the recidivism rate from when she was the AG to before she was the AG. There are statistics to show you all this, my brother. If you're gonna be saying you leading our people, I want you to have the correct information. That's all I'm saying. I want you to have the correct information. If you're saying you Black Panther and you leading our people, I want you to lead people with the truth. So her recidivism rate was lower than the AG before her and the district attorney before her because of the Back on Track. Like there are literally specific programs that were put in place to try to lower the recidivism rate. So go look it up, my brother. And again, like I said, don't look at CNN or no, go look at the numbers. The new Jim Crow was written about her time and power. All right.
See, you wasted. Let's talk about Wolverine, man.
Yeah. All right, before we get out of here, man, let's talk about Wolverine and Deadpool. I thought that shit was him calling himself Marvel Jesus was perfect because I feel like he resurrected the whole thing.
I didn't see it, so I'm gone.
All right, and let's do a no
about that than Africa Bambaataa shit.
let's do a no spoiler. Try to do a no spoiler review because I know a lot of people haven't seen it yet. But I just want to say, if you haven't seen it, man, I think it's a good movie. I think it's dope. I think you'll have fun. I've seen it twice already, and I think it delivered on everything that I thought it was going to deliver on. So if you want to see a Marvel movie that feels like a good old in-game Marvel movie, go see.
So many cameos.
Deadpool.
Oh man!
I just said no spoilers. Shut your ass up, Lil Red.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
What's his name? He's a funny ass smart aleck character. What's the old boy's name that plays
Ryan Reynolds?
And even when he ain't Deadpool, he be having some one-liners and shit that'd be funny. But as Deadpool, he was super funny. I didn't see the new one, but just the other two. It was just
go see it.
Before we get out of here, I just tell everybody who are Marvel fans, go check it out. Go see it. Hey man, this was a great show. We've been on for damn near 2 hours.
2 hours.
Appreciate everybody chiming in, man. Appreciate all the comments and everything like that. Let's keep it going. We got a whole lot to talk about. 99 days into the election. So I'll be keeping y'all posted from here till then, on what's happening and what's going on. Anything popping that music space, we're going to be talking about it. The music space stuff was kind of quiet this week. The news cycle was pretty much dominated by Trump and Harris this entire week. But, anything happening in the culture, we're going to hop on and we're going to talk about it, man.
Again, what about that Drake joint?
I didn't even hear it, bro.
The house music? Yeah, they were talking about it on what's his name show?
There's a Drake joint.
Yeah, I think it's new. What's the dude's name that Joe Budden? They were playing it on his show and talking about.
Oh, that slow song. I think it's like 2 songs that he got out or something.
No, it's kind of like it's like a house music joint.
I didn't even hear it, bro. I didn't even know Drake had.
Maybe we talk about it next week.
Yeah. I think I know what he's talking about. I think because he put out 2 joints and the shit was ass.
All right, so. Yeah, I'll listen to him so we can talk about it next week.
Yeah.
All right, Africa said he wants us to bring him on. So next Wednesday, Africa, I'm gonna bring you on, bro.
Yeah. Next Wednesday, yeah.
We have to do like a debate to be able to mute each other's mics and shit.
Oh, don't worry, I got the look. I got the power, nigga.
Good, because it's like, bro,
I just muted you. I got the power.
Good, because I got a feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got a feeling.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Anyway.
All right, y'all. So until next time, this has been Wild Thoughts. Thank everybody for watching, everybody for joining. We'll see y'all next time. If there's anybody anything y'all want to talk about between now and then, hit us up, and we'll make sure we add it to the docket to bring on. All right, later.
Hey. One thing, if dude gonna be on, he got to come with links for his research of what he's gonna be claiming on the show.
For sure,
I think that's fair. Yeah.
For sure.
Put it in the comments and shit so we can see what he's talking about. Anyway, sorry about that.
No, all good. Now we are out. Thanks for watching.
Stop the world, let me off. I don't like this destination. I like a transfer to the express line. I gotta get off. Electric slide into the double doors of life. Things are changing and it ain't the way I like. On the replay, wish I could get a replay. Don't mean to hold ya, but I wanna do over. Gas up the ship, shoot me a text and let me know